And welcome to the Cybersky. Let's learn something. Yeah, just going to be a nice, relaxed show today, but there is some exciting stuff coming up. I turned off the live chat. There's not going to be any live chat today. Well, please take your questions, comments, and information and enter them into the regular comments below the video, especially if you have information that will help us, because I'm not the biggest expert on everything. And a lot of times people in the audience have some information that I don't have, and they could go in and offer that. Okay, hold on 1 second. Just going to check my mic real quick. All right. Sorry, a little technical difficulty. Yeah, so today we have a special breaking report. It's crazy. This is breaking news. Now we're going to bypass the usual quick bites, and also this is the crypto gems right here. I'm putting it up in the beginning. Usually I do it at the end, but we have a story that just I heard today. It was on the news. I was watching TV, and I was like, I got to bring that right to the podcast. If you remember the last time I went live with breaking news, it was when John McAfee, am I saying his name right? John McAfee, something like that. When he was the creator of McAfee antivirus software, and he was heavy into crypto. He was found dead in a Spanish prison cell, and from apparent suicide. And they announced it that this story broke right while I was doing a show. And so I talked about it right away. And then later I did another story on it. Well, YouTube, the video started to go viral, and YouTube jumped in and throttled my video. They stopped the video. The reason I know this is not a conspiracy, this is fact. I know that they stopped it because I tried to take out an ad boosting the video afterwards to make it get even more views than it already was getting. And the ad was rejected. And the representative that I was talking to, he explained to me that Google is not allowing this because that's not true. It wasn't at the time. In fact, the entire story, I went on a mainstream news media outlet, and I just read the story word for word. I just explained it to the audience. Hey, this is what they're saying. This just happened. I didn't make any conjecture. I didn't make any, ask any questions like why. Maybe the government did this. There's nothing conspiracy. I just said he was found in a Spanish prison cell. He was being extradited to stand trial for tax evasion, something like that. And they say committed suicide, and it sounded suspicious to me, but I'm like, hey, this is what they say. But anyway, they actually didn't allow that video to get boosted, but they didn't take it down off the internet. That's how you know they're messed up. They wouldn't let me monetize it properly, wouldn't let me boost it, but they would let it exist on it. So I'm not like trying to get rid of it. It's not misinformation. Everything is true about it. So, but let me actually prove to you. I'm going to show you how you know. Where's my share button? I'm going to open a screen. Watch this. And I'm going to search, go to a Chrome tab. Open to this one. Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm going to search for the video. Watch this. Go to YouTube. Now, you guys know if I type Cybersky, right, in a search, it comes up, and all the videos and different things. Some other Cyberskies come up too, but you basically can see my stuff, right? Now watch this. I'm going to search. The name of that video was breaking news. First, I'm going to put Cybersky videos, so you know which one it is. Breaking news. Make this a little bigger. John McAfee found. This is my exact headline. Dead in Spanish prison cell. Right? That's all it was said. Breaking news. Right? So, that's not good. Okay, come on. Oh, there we go. Look, I'm getting all these other stories because everyone covered this, right? All these news stations. All I did was repeat the same story that everyone was speaking about. And look, where's mine? Mine should be the first one because I put the exact title of my video in the search and the name of my channel. It should be coming up. Let me add to that my actual full name. Now you know which one I'm looking for. The one that Graham Cybersky does, Cybersky videos, breaking news, John McAfee found out in Spanish prison. Hit it. Still not coming up. Now let's just take a random other one of my videos. I'm going to go to my channel real quick, and let's grab one of my other video titles. Let's just take, I don't know, let's see. Yeah, semiconductor shortage. That's been talked about a lot, right? So I go semiconductor shortage tech talk. If I put that in a search, that's all that's coming up is that story, and and then other stories about it, and then some other of my videos. But when I put breaking news, John McAfee found Spanish prison cell. Now, this is the key. I put Cybersky. I'll make it one word this time, like the channel. Videos and Graham Cybersky, and I'll put tech talk and some other things that are part of the search words that should come up with my video. Again, it's not coming up. So they don't want this video to come up in searches. It's on my channel, though. I'm going to show it to you guys right now. Let's go back a bit. Wait, this is the one. This one I was live when it happened, right? Oh, no, that's what I did this summer. So, oh, where is it? Did they hide it off my channel? Wow. Maybe they took it down and I don't even know it. Can't believe that. I'm going to go take a look right now in front of you guys. All right. Let's see. Here, a little piece of it right now. Welcome to the Cybersky. This is a Tech Talk special report. Right. Yeah. I'm having trouble streaming and then playing this at the same time. It doesn't want me to do that. But hold on a second. With breaking news, millionaire tech guru. Yeah, so that's what it is, but it's not going to stream right now because I'm broadcasting. So the amount of bandwidth that would need to go live and play YouTube videos. In fact, I did a podcast earlier today on my other channel and on this channel. It's called the Along the Way with GMS podcast about my music project and my teaching career and the intersection. And I was playing things off the internet and it was glitching my voice. It wasn't playing. So I'm going to take that off. But that shows you that they're stopping my video. This is what the thumbnail looked like. Maybe it's because he's like this, but other people use that picture too. That's a photo shoot that he did where he posed with a gun to his head. And he was mocking the fact that he would never commit suicide. He said, if I'm ever found so-called suicide, you know what happened. I didn't kill myself. And then they said he found that. But anyway, you get off that. But just to show you, that's how I can prove that my video was throttled without a doubt. Okay, so now on to today's breaking news. And we'll see if this one is as controversial. Probably not. This was just on the news before I went live today. You may have seen it on the news or not. Ilya Lichtenstein, age 34, and his wife, Heather Morgan, 31, were arrested in their New York apartment on February 8th, a week ago, right? And are now facing charges of conspiring to launder nearly 120,000 Bitcoin, worth at the time in 2016, $70 million. And it's tied to the 2016 hack. And February 8th, they were arrested, but now they announced the charges and everything, and they're making it public because the couple, they stole this Bitcoin through hacking, right? But they forgot to launder it. They forgot that you can't really launder Bitcoin. There's one dark web. I don't know if that's true, but Bitcoin certainly not. That's like the name brand, the main one. It's all public on the ledger. So I think they forgot about that. And now in 2016, it was worth 70 million. But now in 2022, that same amount of Bitcoin, 120,000 Bitcoin, is worth $4.5 to $5 billion, depending on what day it is, because it goes up and down every day, right? They made transactions through their real names, as well as different businesses that they set up with different names and accounts and things that they had, try to hide it, but they also use a real name some of the time. And even those businesses and those other accounts that they created not in their name could still be linked to them through technology, through the blockchain, through internet, right? So eventually authorities were able to follow them down the rabbit hole. And since everything is visible and traceable as Bitcoin, there's no way to get away with theft or crime like this. You can get away with it for a little while, but you can't really spend the money and it's going to come back to you. They're going to catch you. So investigators were able to catch these thieves. And what's interesting is that means that La Policia and the FBI and whoever else investigates these things, they have hackers and they have experts in crypto. So they understand the blockchain and they know how to catch the cyber criminals. Maybe in 2009, 10, 11, 12, maybe they weren't sure how it all worked at the time. It was new, but it's been since the paper that was written that the blockchain that Bitcoin is based on came out in 2008. Then Bitcoin actually started being used as currency in 2009. One of my students corrected me. I told him Bitcoin started in 2008. He looked it up real quick. No, it says 2009. Yes. But the idea of it, the paper that was written and the mathematical calculations that showed that this is possible was in 2008. And then it started becoming used, heavily in 2009. Anyway, so it's 2009, 2019, 2022, 13 years. 13? Am I doing that right? 13 years now since the beginning of the blockchain. So the police are up on it, and they're not. You're not going to be like, oh, they'll never know because they don't know technology. Nope, they do, and they've got ethical hackers on their side. And yeah, don't do it. Either you feel the movement and you embrace the technology of the blockchain because it's going to decentralize and democratize and empower artists and empower businesses and companies and cut out middlemen, and it's safe and secure, or you don't like it and you think it's wishy-washy and it's going to all dry up one day and everyone's going to lose their money, whatever you believe. But don't steal any crypto. Not a good look. So let's read more of the story here. It seems that they caught them while the money was still in Bitcoin. They hadn't transferred it out or taken the cash out. I guess if they did that, people would know where the money is going and then they would see a trail. So they didn't know what to do. But they did some transactions. They did spend a little bit of money and they moved it around here and there. But yeah, so the good news is it's simple to return to Bitcoin. Most of the Bitcoin is still there intact. So whoever was robbed of that Bitcoin, it can be sent back to their wallets as Bitcoin. This is huge because it was worth originally $70 million, right? And I'm not sure, the story doesn't say whether they stole one person's Bitcoin of $70 million. I doubt it. One person had 120,000 Bitcoin. I don't know. Or they stole from many people a smaller amount and it added up to $70 million. But that's 4.5 billion at least, if not more, right now. So if they get that Bitcoin put back into their account, let's say they had previously lost, 10 Bitcoin, whatever that was worth back then, might have been $60,000, $70,000. And now that 10 Bitcoin gets put back. Bitcoin's around 50K right now, 48, 50. It's climbing back up from the dip. So yeah, times, what I say, times 7, 8, coins, or 10 coins times that. That's a lot more money. So people are going to get back a huge amount. Now there's a question being the people get back their original value, get the actual coin and get the 4.5 billion. And my answer is they should get the actual Bitcoin since it's still in Bitcoin. Okay. If the authorities try to make up a reason why they can only get the value of what was originally stolen, all kinds of nonsense, then they are scamming. Then the authorities are scamming. They're trying to skim some of that Bitcoin off the top. I don't think we should go for that. I would definitely sue if I was one of the people that got robbed. But let's use a comparison, a metaphor for those who don't own any Bitcoin and aren't in that space. If gold bars were stolen and then they were recovered, 6 to 8 years later or something like that, would the people get the actual gold bars back, or would they say, no, these gold bars were worth X amount of money in 2016, so now you can only get that amount of money back? No, they would just get their gold back, right? If you recovered the gold, that's my property. So yeah, they should get the Bitcoin. That's my opinion. Please tell me what you think in the comments. And while you're at it, like and subscribe if you like that story. You guys should be wiping your feet on the doormat, on the welcome mat, on the way in. Say hello, slap that like button, hit that like, hit that thumbs up. And, some of you like to do thumbs down, but, they're not showing the thumbs down anymore. But I have a solution. Like the video if you like it, right? Hit the thumbs up. And if you don't like the video, hit the thumbs up twice. That'll be for you guys who don't like the video, want to express that. Just tap it twice. Okay, on to tech talk. We've got a lot of news about Tesla. Elon Musk has been doing so much lately. First, his tweets have a massive potential of, making or breaking a cryptocurrency like Doge. While we're doing share my screen again. Let's see. All right. Okay. Let's look up Tesla new cars, right? So there's 5 new cars that are coming out, and get some images up on the screen. Let's see that. Okay. Yep, there we go. I'm back. So these are some of the new cars that Tesla revealed in 2022 that, hopefully a bunch of them will be coming out this year. And then even if it gets delayed 2023, these are some really amazing vehicles. So I'm going to leave that up on the screen for a little while I'm talking. Do it like this. Boom, there we go. That's good. Now, as you guys know, Musk's tweets can, make or break cryptocurrency, like I said, and he tweeted positively about Bitcoin in the past, giving it a boost. And then he just tweeted one word. He just wrote Doge, and the value of the token went way up, at some point. And then he tweeted, or he announced that the Tesla company would accept Bitcoin. I'm not sure if he said Ethereum. I know he holds Ethereum and Bitcoin, but he said he was going to accept Bitcoin, and then later he said he would accept Doge for cars at Tesla. You could actually buy cars with Doge and Bitcoin. So, of course, those values went up. Then he went back on that and said, hey, I noticed that the mining process is using a lot of energy, and that goes against my other businesses like the solar energy and the battery storage, because we're trying to make less of a footprint on the planet and be more green, right? We said, I'm not going anymore. The Bitcoin platform figures out how to do the mining process better and use less energy. So he said, when that happens, I'll accept it again. Then, of course, Bitcoin price went down. And then he went on TV show and said that Dogecoin is a joke and a meme coin, which it is. But, he said that, and then that went down. So, his comments and his tweets have a huge effect, right? Now, recently, let's say in October of 2021, a few months ago, Tesla was asked, the Tesla account was tweeted, was asked how much, I'm sorry, the Elon Musk account was tweeted how much Shiba he owned. Shiba Inu, which is a new coin. It's also a dog-based meme coin, and it's being pitched as an alternative to Dogecoin. I guess it's their competitor, right? It's another cute little dog on a meme, right? So he was asked, how much Shiba Inu do you own? And he replied, none, which made the value of Shiba go down. But now in January, he tweeted about getting a Shiba Inu dog. He said, I think I'm going to get a Shiba Inu. But then he said, I'm just talking about buying a dog, not the crypto. But even though he just was saying that kind of jokingly, the Shiba token went way up, close to 300%. And he didn't even say he bought any. He just said he was getting a dog and it changed the value of the currency. Now, changing the value of a cryptocurrency like this smacks of pump and dump. It sounds like a pump and dump scheme. However, in an interview, Elon explained that he does pump into Bitcoin. He puts money into and Ethereum and Doge, but he said he will not dump when it goes up or when it goes down. He never sells. He just holds on to it. He's basically a buy and holder is what he's saying. And he wants people to use the currency so that crypto is around for a long time and becomes the currency of the future. He explained that he invested in these tokens, not really to make money, but because he wants them to succeed. When asked why he invested in Doge, which was just a meme coin, Musk said that, first of all, Doge has a great name. People like dogs. And so that makes it popular. And it has great name recognition. At the same time, Musk explained that these days, the outcome that happens is no longer what makes the most sense. Like things don't go a certain way because of logic. Currency like Doge going up and down based on his tweets, for example. So he said what really appeals to people is irony and entertainment value. So a lot of times what pushes the outcome of crypto value is the most ironic outcome or the most entertaining outcome. And he believes that Doge and Shiba Inu will go up because those are that would be the most ironic and entertaining outcome for those coins, that they were created as a joke and yet they will become a viable currency. And some other coins which really have a lot backing them and have, viable technology end up not being as popular just because they're not as entertaining and ironic. So he thinks that that's why those two will do well. I'm not investing in them. I'm not following anything for those reasons. I actually look at the usefulness, the utility, the viability of the ecosystem and things like that when deciding what crypto for me to mess with. But anyway, right after Tesla first started accepting Bitcoin price went up and it started going up so high, went on a run. That's why it was becoming mined more and more. And that's what made Elon feel that he should not accept it for a while because it's just burning up too much energy. So he stopped accepting it. And then, later he came out and said that now that they're working on ways to make Bitcoin greener, and I think it was at 20% clean energy and 80% bad energy like coal and oil and things like that, when he first said he wasn't going to accept it for Tesla. Now I think they're at 50%, and they're still trying to find ways to make the process better. Now, in some ways, you could just use electricity that's sourced from clean sources like wind power, solar power, thermonuclear. At the same time, a lot of new companies have been popping up like Cardano and Near Protocol. They are doing proof of stake and other proofs besides proof of work. And they're doing sharding and different things like that, where basically you don't have to run the computer 24/7 doing all this high-powered calculations. You can authenticate and validate the transactions on the blockchain in a different way. The original currency, which is called proof of work. So Musk revealed that he owns much more Bitcoin than Doge or Ethereum. If he was just out for self, he says he never would have spoken badly of Bitcoin or stopped accepting it, because he knew once I tell people I'm not going to take it anymore for Tesla cars because it's not clean energy at the moment, he knew that was going to plummet the price, to some extent. And if he just was out for his own money, he wouldn't have said anything. So he caused the price to go down. He lost a lot of money when that happened. He doesn't care. It was the right thing to do. And again, he didn't invest in it to make money. He has his companies. He has so many companies that are in the top in the industry that he's making enough money from that. He wants to accept Bitcoin again, but he wants to use his influence to force greener mining practices, which use less energy first. And he said it's very likely that this will happen at some point in the near future. He'll accept Bitcoin again. And he already started to accept Doge for some merchandise purchases sold on Tesla's website. He made the announcement on January 14th by tweeting his normal way of doing. He doesn't do press releases and announcements in front of cameras. He just tweets his announcements. He said that possibly towards the end of 2021, and he would accept Doge, but he's not accepting it for cars. He's only accepting it for some merch on his website. Now, as far as the whole crypto is bad for the environment thing, that is real, but not insurmountable. I don't know if Bitcoin will ever become super green because their whole thing is based on proof of work. And if they don't change that, it's still going to use a lot of energy. Even if it's cleaner energy, wind power, solar, and all that, it's still just taking up a lot of energy for the rest of the world to not be able to use for other things because it's being consumed at such a high rate. But it might not be as polluting if they get it into more cleaner ways of manufacturing, or not manufacturing, of harnessing the electricity, of converting the electricity rather than burning fossil fuels. Solution, or it doesn't have the technology worked out, but conceptually, here's a way that crypto could be not bad for the environment in the future, and people could mine it and run it with the computers without any problem. He said that in order to make a bunch of hashtag rigs, those are the computers, the special devices you set up that run the programs, that run do the validating and do the mathematical computations and validate transactions on the blockchain. In order to run those, in order for those to work, you got to run them 24/7, and using hydro and thermonuclear power and wind. And of course, there's this huge thermonuclear generator that everyone uses called the sun, right? That's where solar power comes from. That would make crypto mining a little more sustainable. But he said that you also could combine the hashing machines with other devices that have utility, such as space heaters. So he said, for example, people run space heaters in a home or an office, right, to create heat. And those use a lot of energy as well. Well, what if you had a hashing machine as a space heater? Those create heat. In fact, they have little fans blowing on inside the computer to make sure they don't overheat, cooling them off again, and the heat is dissipating. And that if you have a lot of computers in a room and you're running them all the time, the room heats up hotter than the other rooms because the computers are giving off an enormous amount of heat. So he's saying at some point, someone's going to invent a machine that converts the heat and the energy that's coming off of the hashing computers, the mining machines, the crypto mining machines, and use them for something else. He just said a space heater as an example. So imagine you turned on the heat, the little heater in your office or at home or wherever you had a space heater, and while it was heating you, it was mining crypto, and you were getting little gifts of normally natural gas, oil, right? So these would just be heaters that are run off electricity, and then the heat they're making. So they are using electricity, right? That's hopefully is coming from a cleaner source than fossil fuels, but they're at the same time generating heat for your apartment. So it's like you would have had the heat on anyway, and then there's a computer doing the mining. So I think that's a pretty brilliant idea from him. I don't love everything about Elon Musk, but he does have a lot of good ideas. Remember, we wouldn't be doing all these online transactions without his help. He did solve the problem of how can people pay for something they order online more securely. So when online stores first were being developed, people were often afraid to use them because they felt that their info would get stolen if they put it in, and they want to link their bank accounts and stuff like that. And he created a really secure system that's still working to this day called PayPal. That's his first company that he built and the first technology that he coded. And he then later sold that company and used that money to invest in SpaceX and Tesla and the Boring Company and the other ventures that he has, the solar panels and the batteries and all that. Now, Shiba Inu is another dog-themed coin like Doge. It's named after a Japanese dog breed, as you might already know. Just to give you some more information on that, it's an ERC20 token with a decentralized exchange called Shiba Swap. Now, although it started as a meme coin, they're now launching an NFT platform. So they're going to have some utility attached to them, unlike Dogecoin. Shiba is also on the Ethereum blockchain, not independent. It's written off of the code. It's using the code from Ethereum. It's on their blockchain in their network, in their ecosystem, as they say. So that gives it a little bit more credibility and stability than Doge, as Ethereum is highly of Ryoshi. It had an initial supply of 4 quadrillion tokens. And Ryoshi, the creator, Ryoshi, locked 50% of the coins in a Uniswap. Liquidity, so people could use it, right? But he sent the other 50% to Ethereum's co-founder, Vitalik Buterin. I don't know if I'm Vitalik Buterin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I should listen to someone else talking about him so that I can hear how they say his name. But that's one of the co-founders of the Ethereum coin token. And so he sent it to him, to his Ethereum wallet. But interestingly, Vitalik decided to burn 90% of what was sent to him, 90% of the 50% that he received. He decided to burn those coins. It means you destroy them, they're out of circulation, and it makes more rarity, and coin values sometimes go up. The other 10% he gave to charity. Now, I don't know whether he did that because he didn't like the coin and didn't want it, didn't believe in it, or if he did it in order to increase its value by increasing the rarity, making it rarer, more valuable. If you know something about that, this is one of those questions I was going to tell you to put in the comments. If you know the reason, if you heard the reason why the co-founder of Ethereum got rid of the 50% of Shiba Inu that was sent to him, please enlighten us in the comments. Why did he give that away? Now, the 2022 models of Tesla have finally been revealed. Let's go to the cars now. So you can look at these pictures while I'm discussing the vehicles. First, we're going to talk about this truck over here. All right. Yeah, this one. Let's pop that open. Boom. There's a picture of it. It's going to be 2023, starting at only $39,000, $40,000 for no distinct style of this truck. It's very unique and different than the other one. Hold on a second. I thought you were seeing what I was sharing, but it didn't work. Let's do this. Okay. Yeah. There's the truck. Okay. Get rid of these people's ads. All right. They don't need to advertise on my YouTube, right? So this is the 2023 Cybertruck, which is, I have to say, the coolest name of any vehicle out ever is Cybertruck. I endorse that. I want one. If I get one, I'm going to look for where the logo, it says Cybertruck. I'm going to cross out truck and put sky, But with all this going on, all this other stuff going on, the crypto, the Shiba Inu, the Bitcoin going up and down, SpaceX, and all these other things that Musk is doing in his life, he's remained focused on Tesla's original goal, which is to make electric vehicles the sole means of mobility as soon as possible. That's why he's not even in competition with other electric car makers. Every time another electric car company comes out, he applauds and salutes them. He says he wants people to make their own, he wants them to make their companies and do the same thing as him, he's not really trying to stop anyone from doing that, because that's the only way that we'll go to all electric. Let me tell you a little bit about this this truck. Well, actually, before we get to that, Musk said he wants to introduce 30 million vehicles per year by 2030 to meet the anticipated demand. Right now, Tesla basically has 4 models, right? The Model 3, the Model Y, the Model X, and the Model S. And people have but the overwhelming majority of Tesla sales were the Model 3 and the Model Y. So last month, he revealed 5 new electric vehicles for 2022, and I guess some of them are going to take till 2023, as it said 2023 in that photo. And he's not really looking to supply the wealthy with luxury vehicles. He did that at first to make it really cool. He said, I got to make a sports car. I got to make something fast. It's got to look sleek and awesome, so that people want to show off their Tesla. And that'll popularize the idea of electric as not like subpar, cheaper than a gas running car. That, electric can be, a status symbol and some, fancy, right? So he started off with that, but now he wants to get the average person to buy into electric. So these new models that are coming out are going to be much cheaper. So the first one he's got is a Tesla truck. You see it on the screen. And it's going to have solar. Oh, no, not the truck, the van. I think the Tesla truck, it says, is 39,000, 40,000. So, that's not that bad. It's not super cheap to buy new, but it's not that bad. Not like a $80,000, $100,000 vehicle. However, it's going to get way cheaper. I guarantee you'll be able to afford the 4th car in this list. Listen up. So he's got the truck, and he's got the van. The van will have solar panels. Let's see if I can find one. It's the truck. Let's look for the van. Let's go to Tesla van 2022. Yeah, there it is. So the Tesla van is going to have, whoa, didn't want a video, wanted a picture. Solar panels. I was trying to make it bigger. Let's open image, a new tab. Surface area. He never wanted to put solar panels on the cars because he said it's not really going to be cost efficient. This small amount of solar you could fit around the roof of a car is not going to generate enough power. But now he's putting solar panels on these Tesla vans. So that's pretty cool. I'll leave that there for a minute. Now, there's also a Model 2, which will cost around $25,000. So he's getting low. He's targeting the average person, not the wealthy looking to show off their luxury vehicles. Let's see if we can pull up the Model 2, Tesla Model 2. And, it says it's not coming till 25 on this site. But maybe he just he designed them and he announced them, and now they're going to be building them. And I don't know if he's been hurt by the semiconductor shortage, or if he solved that problem as well. But let's take a look at what this car looks like. Okay, there we go. Disagree. All right. So there's the bottom of the car. Can I see the actual car? Is it here? That's Cadillac's. Yeah, it's up here. I can't get to it. Let's do another search. Tesla images, Model 2. There it is. Let's check out this vehicle. I will copy the link address. Yeah, that's how we do it. Okay. So 25,000, release in 2023, not 25, 2023. It's going to be produced in China and exported globally. The planned Model 2 hatch is likely to use a new platform rather than borrow the Model 3 underpinnings to hit a number of technical and price targets. A small electrical hatch could allow Tesla to take on similar-sized competitors in a number of EV, electronic vehicle-friendly markets. Okay, so there's the vehicle. Looks nice. Now there's another one. the fourth car he's coming out with that costs $5,000. You heard right. The way he puts the battery together and the materials for the car to make it cost $5,000. I know this sounds impossible. This sounds ridiculous. What? Shut up. No one's selling any brand new car for $5,000. You can't even get a Hyundai for $5,000, right? But he says he's going to do it. He wants to take away all reasons for the average person not to own a Tesla electric vehicle or to own an electric vehicle. If other companies can make a cheap car too, great. So he's going to make a bare bones minimum electric car. Of course, it's not going to be status. It's only $5,000. Everyone's going to know you got a cheap car, but it's going to have utility. It's going to be useful. It's going to be a car. And maybe some people who would have bought a $5,000 used car that's 10 or 15 years old and is not fuel efficient and is all beat up, it's cool. You're recycling, but you're running gas through that car. Maybe that person instead will buy a brand new Tesla for $5,000. And they will be on our way to eliminating gas vehicles. How he plans to make a car that cheaply, I don't know, but he has plans. And lastly, Tesla's coming out with a Model 3 robo-taxi. That I have to pull up. Model 3 robo-taxi. There's something pretty crazy about this vehicle I want you guys to understand. You can get it, without the taxi info on it. Like this white picture here on the right is what it would look like not as a taxi. And then you got the taxi one here. I like the idea of the taxi. I'm going to pull that picture up. Let's save image, copy image address. That's what I want. Yeah, let's pull that up. Yeah, robo-taxi. That's pretty nice looking. Now, it has the word robo in it. So what do you think he's doing? If you guessed that this is a self-driving vehicle, you are correct. The robo-taxi will work without any human drivers. It's even the designs currently have steering wheel and pedals to have a human driver, but you don't need it. But they're thinking of removing that. This will possibly put the whole Uber industry, out of business, or not the industry, but put the drivers out of business, because it will crush the drivers because you don't have to pay a driver anymore. So companies will just buy fleets of these cars and set them up. Companies like Uber and Lyft, and even probably local taxi places that you have in your neighborhood still. And people will order their car through their phone app, and the car will just come, and you just go outside and get in it, and it'll take you down the road, and it's not going to crash because AI is superior to humans when it comes to driving vehicles. I know it seems scary, but now this is something that I want you guys to comment on. What do you think of that idea? This car is not going to have any drivers. You can use it for personal use too. You don't have to make it a robo-taxi. You can just have it be a regular car for yourself. However, this is what's going to happen once self-driven cars are perfected like this. People who own a car, like I go to work, I drive for 10 minutes, I park, and then I'm working all day. And then I come out, I drive for 10 minutes, and I get home. Some people live an hour from their job and have a long commute. That's cool. But most of the day, your car is sitting there. It's not being used. Now, what if you could turn your car into an Uber, and it could be driving around picking people up while you're at work? And then it just shows up at your job at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whenever you get off, and you come out and you go home. And then you go to sleep, and then it goes out and does Ubering again. That would be a moneymaker, right? So you'd get your cut of it. It would help pay towards your car. So let's say these vehicles were, not in your price range right now. You couldn't afford it, but you could kind of afford it the way people buy a house and then they rent the house and then they Airbnb the house. And then the money they're bringing in is more than the mortgage and the expenses. You could kind of do this with your car. And so then everyone's going to have these autonomous cars, right? And no one will be really driving on the road anymore. And I see this, I'm a little worried. I see this as possibly the end of owning cars or as driving cars as a vehicle altogether. And that's sad. I've been telling people for a few years, once all cars have AI that prevents accidents, that never never goes away. It will slow down even when things come in front of it, and it's a program that cannot hurt humans. Once cars become that, it's going to end car travel as we know it, because no one will be able to get anywhere. Because people are going to get so right now, people don't run into the street because they're afraid to get hit by a car. They stop at the stop sign, they wait, and then when the light turns green, they go, right? And they follow the laws of that. And yeah, people jaywalk, especially in Brooklyn and New York where I live. People jaywalk, cross in the middle of the street stuff, but not in the middle of traffic. They when there's nothing around, they walk across the street. If you try to jaywalk across a 6-lane highway, you're going to have some trouble doing that, right? Because cars are going too fast, and you're going to get hit. But if all the cars were on AI, had the 6 to 8 cameras all around, and always slowed down when something was in the distance, appearing, or something crossed its path, it was able to slow down or stop completely. What would happen is people would lose their sense of fear of stepping out into the road, and they would end up jaywalking and just walking out. I got to go somewhere. And they would just expect all those cars to stop, and those cars would stop. And then more people would cross the street, and there would be no reason to obey the walk and don't walk signs. People would just walk out whenever they want. And essentially all traffic would be halted. So at least for cities, maybe for long distance or on highways and stuff or country roads, but in cities, like, it would be no reason to travel by car. You would call your Uber. It would have no driver. You'd go outside, you'd get in it. It would drive 10 feet and stop. It would wait as people got out of the way. Then it would drive half a block, stop. It wouldn't be able to cross the street or turn the corner for a long time because it'd be dozens of people just walking in front, not letting the cars go. Eventually it would go. And it would take you about 2 hours to get someplace that would normally take you 15 minutes. At that point, no one's going to bother. They want to pay the cab fee, and it's going to take them forever to get anywhere. So people will be riding their bike. People will just take a bus. People will, I don't know, find alternate modes of transport. And we work remotely like we've been doing now. So you can see the future. Like 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, this all would seem far-fetched. There'll be driverless cars. There'll be virtual reality worlds where people never leave their house, and they'll pay to buy real estate in virtual worlds, and they'll be in their headsets all day ordering food on a phone app that gets brought to your house. So you never have to go anywhere, right? Ordering things on Amazon, and basically working from home on the computer and going to school, waking up in the morning, turn on your computer to go to school instead of going to school. Like, nobody would believe that 20 years ago. It would sound far-fetched. Maybe you'd think that it would happen in 50 years or 2050. But now you can kind of see that happening. Like, the writing's on the wall. You can see where this is going. So I think this is sad. I don't know what you guys think, but I have owned a lot of cars, a lot of vehicles. Let's say I've owned about maybe 9 or 10 cars in my life, and I've owned an electric scooter, electric automatic scooter. I've owned a gas scooter, a Honda Elite. I've owned another scooter that was like 200cc, but it was classified as a scooter. It was pretty fast. Maybe went up to 50, 55 max. It was almost a motorcycle. But I actually had a motorcycle that was 500 and change cc's. So I've had a lot of vehicles, and I form a bond with my vehicle. Like, I love driving my car. My wife has her own car. When we have to go shopping, or we're going out somewhere, or we're driving upstate or anything, I want to take my car because I want to drive, and I like my car. I like my seats. I like my radio. I like the way my doors open up. I'm into my car. So I form that bond with it. I don't know if you guys do too, if you drive, but I think it's sad that way of life is going to get faded out. Maybe in my lifetime, maybe when I'm older, the younger people will just totally not be into cars. They grew up in a different world, and they're just like, whatever, they don't care about cars. But putting antifreeze in there and windshield wiper fluid, all the things, putting air in the tires that go with cars, and taking long trips, and getting your comfy pillow and your different things of music you're going to listen to, and going on road trips. That was a thing. So I feel like all these innovations, like these driverless cars, are going to phase that out. It's also going to get rid of a lot of jobs. People who are truck drivers, that's going to be out. Cab drivers, that's going to be out. Um, I wonder if we still need chauffeurs. I wonder if people who are wealthy or celebrities still want a driver because they need someone to like get them things and to represent them and help them with stuff and talk to them. They don't just want it to be a car that drives itself. There's no luxury to that. Everyone has a car that drives itself. I have a person who works for me who drives me around places. I think the wealthy will still want chauffeurs. I don't know. You let me know what you think about that. But I think not using cars anymore will be good for the planet. It will be good for our health. We'll probably do more walking, more biking, more riding electric scooters. Scooters are thin and can get places, and and if you ride those, maybe they'll keep scooters and bikes, which could still hit people now. There's no AI there, and that'll be what people opt to use because the car's got to slow down every second and stop every second as people don't obey the traffic rules. Maybe that's where we're going. Write your predictions in the comments. What do you think? It's interesting to think about this stuff, but I'll be sad when cars are finally outmoded altogether. So what do you think? Are you excited about the new cars from Tesla? Or you are against the ideas of driverless cars? Let me know in the comments. But there is a fifth car. Let me see. Where is it? The last car vehicle. Oh no, the fourth. That is the fifth car, the robo taxi. Yeah. So layout button is not working. Okay, I'm gonna just remove it. I'm gonna minimize that. Now, another thing that Tesla did this month or recently, or last month rather, I think January, more Tesla news. Elon Musk has decided to give up all of his residences. Now, he owns 7 mansions. One of them is $30 million, and the others are less than that, 5 million here, 7 million there. But he owns 7 mansions, and they have a pool, and they have lots of rooms, and all the things that that billionaires and people on the richest person on the planet list would have, right? All the luxuries. He's giving all that up. He put all of them on the market. His girlfriend is not happy with this. You date a billionaire, you expect to live in luxury and have all this beautiful big mansion houses and stuff, but he wants to live in a little tiny home. So he's ordered a tiny prefab home to be erected on one of his Tesla properties. He tweeted that he wants to get rid of all his physical possessions and will own no house, but he does need to live somewhere. So you get this little box, little prefab, one studio apartment house, right? He listed all his properties. He's going to make, if he sells them all at the price he's listing them, he's going to make $100 million. So he's going to recoup $100 million. And he says he wants to put that into SpaceX to continue funding their attempts to colonize Mars. That's so important to him. And he'd rather just give up these physical possessions. Now, one of the homes formerly belonged to the actor Gene Wilder. So Musk said there's a stipulation that whoever buys that one must agree never to demolish it and rebuild or bulldoze it, get rid of it. Has to remain as a house. Now, the tiny house that he bought for less than $50,000 and getting rid of $100 million, and he's going to live in a $50,000 box, right? It's made by a company called Boxable. Let me see if I can pull that up and screen share that. Sure. Hey, sorry about that. My mic was muted. So the Elon Musk tiny home. I'll pull that back up. Give me a second. It's made by Boxable. Yeah, this is what Elon Musk is moving into. I'm not sure what you missed, so I'm going to go back and let you know some of that info again. But basically, Elon is buying this $50,000, really 49 and change, tiny home, and he's selling all 7 of his mansions for $100 million, getting rid of all the pools and luxury and everything. He just wants to live simple. He wants to take that 100 million and put it into SpaceX and continue funding attempts to colonize Mars. One of the homes formerly belonged to actor Gene Wilder. So he says when he sells that one, whoever buys it has to promise that they're not going to ever demolish it. But the tiny house he's moving into, made by Boxable, is a prefab tiny home. They build it and they install everything, and then they drive it and they just snap it to your foundation where you're going to put your house. And it's 20 by 20. 375 square feet to be exact. That's very small. Let me know your thoughts. Is Elon crazy for downsizing from 7 mansions, luxury mansions? One of them's going for $35 million, getting rid of all his worldly possessions and then moving into a 365 square foot apartment, a studio basically, on some barren land far away from civilization. He's putting this, he's just going to rent a little bit of the property from one of his Tesla factories. So he rent from Tesla, his own company. It'd be funny to see if he's late on the rent, what happens. But yeah, he's going to just put it outside in the dirt. There's no view. There's nothing around for miles and miles. It's just a factory in the middle of wilderness. It's kind of odd, right? Now, my take is Musk is experimenting, seeing how life on Mars would be. But you're probably going to live in small vestibules like this when they first start colonizing Mars. And on barren land, and you'll be very far away from society. So maybe he just wants to simplify his life. As you recall, for years he had slept at the Tesla factory, and he broke up his marriages because of that. Because he was neglecting his family and he was working 24 hours. So maybe he doesn't really feel like he needs a house, but his girlfriend feels that he needs a house. She's not really happy with this. What do you guys think? Is that the reason, or do you think there's something else behind this move? And for those of you who live in a house, can you envision downsizing from your current house to move into a 375 square foot apartment? I'll tell you this, if you live in New York City, or worse, Brooklyn, you probably already do live in a 375 square foot apartment with a family, and you're probably paying $3,000 rent for that, but for that privilege to live in the city. So we're ready for Mars here in New York City. We're ready right now. But what do you guys think? Another story, I'm just going to call this one a quick bite. And we have 2 more left. So this one real fast. Tesla announced that he plans to buy Mercedes and merge it with Tesla. And they're doing the deal. They're working on it now. So sometime in the near future, there's going to be some kind of car that may look like a Tesla, but have Mercedes emblems, or have Tesla on it, look like a Mercedes, or just be something new. I don't know. But he wants to buy Mercedes and make that brand, merge with Tesla and turn it into electric vehicles. That's pretty interesting. It hasn't happened yet, but he has announced it. So this is officially going through. The last story I want to touch upon is a new supercomputer, the Tesla Dojo supercomputer. It's been working on this for years. Supposedly, it's done, and it's the fastest AI training machine in the world, among other things. So what makes a supercomputer? Because there's about 5 of them in the world. They're in different countries. Well, this computer will have a capacity of over 1 exaflop. That's equal to 1,000 petaflops. This is equal to 1 quintillion OPS, floating point operations per second. So, how many? So, this can do 1 quintillion floating point operations per second. The unit of measurement, that's the unit of measurement that calculates the speed of a supercomputer. Now, an average computer's processor performance is measured in megahertz or gigahertz, right? And that's like has to do with the computer's clock speed. 1 hertz equals 1 tick per second, for example. So if a computer can do 1,000,000 ticks per second, that's a gigahertz, right? No, that's a megahertz. Is 1,000,000 ticks per second, and I guess a gigahertz equals 1 billion ticks per second. So supercomputers are much faster. They're not even measured in hertz. They're measured in 1 quintillion floating computations per second. I'm wondering how much crypto could be mined using such a powerful computer. Maybe that's why Elon Musk is so into supercomputers and into crypto. I don't know. Lastly, we might be going to war. I know you've been hearing rumblings on the news, podcasters. Russia is attacking Ukraine, and our president cannot decide whether he's going to jump into that battle. First, he assured us that he wouldn't. Then he said, hey, well, you never know. Maybe we will be sending planes and missiles or something, maybe not troops. So they've told all the Americans to get out. If you're in Ukraine, they've been saying that all week, leave now, leave now. We don't have any planned military evacuation. If it goes down and you're there, you're on your own. So, they're telling people to come home. So that is, pretty scary stuff. And I'm not going to talk about politics, whether we should be going to Ukraine or not. I personally feel there's no reason to go to war unless the country's attacking you. So I feel that we should mind our business. But that's my view. I don't know if that makes me liberal or conservative or what that is, but that's not what I want to talk about. What should we invest in if the country is going to a war? Now, this is not something I have answers to. This is a question I want to pose to the audience. My wife and I were talking about investments and the problems between the United States and Russia and Ukraine, and possibly sending planes before ago, when it became clear that we were going to respond to the towers falling in some kind of war. They ended up calling it the global war on terror. It wasn't like a war, but we went to war. We sent troops to Afghanistan, right? My wife was very smart. I wasn't as savvy an investor at that time, right? But she was. She's been investing way longer than me. And at the time, she researched what companies make things that are highly in demand during a war, during wartime. So she figured out, and she found out from her research, that semiconductors were essential to the war, probably because they're used in the computers that fly the planes, that guide the missiles, that drive the tanks, all the GPS and things like that. And even just computers that are used by the military. So she invested in semiconductors, and semiconductors did extremely well in the stock market. War is terrible. For ordinary folks like us, we don't really have much of a say in what the government does. And if they're going to take us to war, then at least let's figure out a way for the average Joe to make some gains. We're definitely going to feel some losses from inflation, gas prices going up, and, stock market crashing, and all kinds of different things are going to happen. Could happen. We don't know. Sometimes war makes the market go up, make it go down, but usually the middle class and poor people, we lose no matter what happens. So if anyone does well from war, it's like going to be these billionaire corporations that profit off of war. So in order to offset some of the losses, we have to make some wise investment decisions. Semiconductors were crucial for missile guidance, ships, aircraft, land vehicles, everything needed for war, right? It also turned out to be a crucial component after that for smartphones, for smaller, thinner laptops, for iPads, for smartwatches and gaming devices and cars and all those things that rely on semiconductors, right? So it was a great investment, even beyond the use in war. And my wife, she did really well. Now, we're currently in a semiconductor crisis. There's a shortage. So is that going to mean car industry. Is that a good place to invest nowadays or no? Put your answer in the comment if you are an investor and you're reading about these things and you know something. Let us know. What about metals and other things needed to, engage with Russia and Ukraine? What is needed to engage? What are we going to spend a lot of? And then therefore we're going to have to manufacture a lot of, and therefore we can invest in companies that either mine those resources or process those resources or manufacture the materials and the technology of battle. This is what we should be thinking about, in my opinion, as we reimagine our investment portfolios this year. So let me know in the comments below what you think are good investments, strategies, resources, and materials to invest in 2022. And while you're down there, comment on the stories. Let me know what crypto you hold, NFTs you own. What do you think is going to be hot this year? What do you want to see more of and hear more about in the future? And, subscribe and ring the bell. Also, you can join the Patreon community, link in the description. If you want to support the show that way, you get exclusives, you get custom Cybersky Rubik's Cubes. I'm a heavy Rubik's Cube fanatic. People know that. I have so many cubes, I can actually even just juggle cubes, right? But actually, this is the one I'm working on right now. Still working on this. This is my, sorry. Oh, look, the green screen effect is blurring out all the greens. I love when that happens. If you hold up a Rubik's Cube to green screen, it does this. It's pretty cool. The green pieces get seen through. But anyway, I have a custom Rubik's Cube with the Cybersky logo on it that I give to my Patreons. They also get to see the music video that I'm releasing in advance before everyone else. The song is out. It's available on Bandcamp right now. Link in the description, mcmi.bandcamp.com. It's called Teacher, featuring Bamboo. And yeah, if you're on the Patreon, you get early access to the video and all the other songs, but then they're going to hit YouTube anyway, so you could just wait a week or two. We just get a little early access. And stay tuned for the big NFT announcement coming soon. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. Until next time, stay positive. Remember, the best revenge is success. Stay healthy and wealthy, my friend. And as always,